Over the years, I've spent over $40 million on Google Ads to date. And here are the biggest things that you're going to want to know about Google that we've learned. Number one is not every store is going to be rigged for Google Ads. You have to remember that Google Ads is based off of intent, right? So if there's pre-existing intent and demand for your product on Google, in most cases, it'll make sense to show your ad there, right? Now, there's also different variables there, like, how saturated the market is on Google. If there's a lot of people who are marketing the same product, if you've sourced it from somewhere like AliExpress or somewhere else that people can get from the same manufacturer. But for the most case, if there's demand and there's people actively searching for terms that are longer tail and are very close to what you want to show your product for, you're going to want to show your product there and see if it's going to convert. Now, the products that have a harder time on Google are going to be the ones that you have to create the market for. What I mean by that is if people don't know the product already exists and you're using something like Facebook, right, to show the content, explain why there's importance for that product, the pain points, the reasons why somebody would want to actually purchase and use it, that's creating the market. A lot of the times, somebody might have a new product type or at least a product that builds off of an old product that people might not be necessarily searching for on the Google side. But if you use something like Facebook and you show them compelling content to get them to have the awareness of the product to eventually go to the store and buy, that's usually where you're going to want to actually spend your time and your money. But like I said, if there is pre-existing demand, you can use the keyword research tool to see if people are searching terms that are relevant to your product. Google is going to be a place for you to actually generate revenue. So next, there will be some level of plateau on your Google Ads account. Just like I mentioned, things are based off of demand. There's going to be a certain amount of terms people search per month, and that exhausts at some point. So you might find, let's say, 1,000 different terms that you want to rank your product for. At some point, you're going to exhaust the amount of times that people are searching for those products per month. And what will happen there is that's when your ROI will essentially drop off because you're trying to scale past what people are searching. So Google's a little unique in that, where we always talk about scaling horizontally and not vertically. You're not going to be able to just shoot up to the moon with a couple campaigns. You're going to max out the scale per campaign. And then from there, you're going to move to the next grouping of keywords and scale there. And eventually you will reach different levels of awareness. You will find keywords that are based off of a little bit more broad thinking. Like if you're marketing a supplement that helps with bone density, somebody might just be looking for like a calcium supplement and they might not know that it helps on the bone density side, but you can educate them on that. So you will be able to scale into broader levels of traffic, but always max out the most important traffic first, which we talked about in the whole concept of pyramid of converting traffic. Next is going to be that success hinges on the way you structure your campaigns, not the creatives of your campaigns. Now, creatives are obviously important. They're nowhere near as important as they would be on something like Facebook. A lot of the control of Google's success comes to actually controlling how you build out the campaigns and where you're making sure budget spends. So when you're doing Google Ads, you don't want to just hope that Google's going to make it happen for you. You want to make sure that you're pushing budget on what's most logically to convert, and the structure is doing the job to make sure that you have the highest probability of success with the amount of money you're spending. Now, I talked about Google not doing it for you. What I mean by that is Google does not have as strong of an algorithm as Facebook when it comes to Google figuring out who to show your ad to. Facebook, you can do a broad campaign type. You have a really good product, you have a lot of good creatives, and it'll just dial in who it's going to show the ads to, and it'll scale for you. Google's not like that. Google, you want to basically divide and conquer. Because the algorithm is not dialed like that, you cannot just give it budget with a ton of different keywords and hope it's going to scale out and work for you. You have to make sure to chop things up by segmenting. We talk about how you want to segment other videos, but chopping up budget by where you're trying to push that budget into different segments of keywords you're going after, where you're sending that traffic. And then from there, scaling those campaigns manually and horizontally, like I talked about. So as I mentioned, make sure to control the campaigns that you're spending money on. Don't just hope Google's going to do the job for you, because like I said, most of the success hinges on the actual campaign build and structure of how you're putting things together. And then from there, as long as you have control, you're gonna have a great experience on Google Ads, making sure you do not waste money and all money spent on what's most logically gonna make you the most money. So if you want more tips on how we actually build out those campaigns and structures, make sure to subscribe and like. We're constantly putting out new content that we use every single day with our clients to make them millions of dollars per month in revenue for their stores.